Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I decided to do some research on the 1980s.
And before you say anything like, were you researching something about Michael Jackson?
No, I wasn't. But as I was doing my research, I wanted to know what school was like in the 1980s, so I Googled it. And let's just say it was very interesting.
Woody, was it like Stranger Things?
No, it wasn't. And the first thing I would like to talk about is, drumroll please, educational technology. Okay. I know what you're thinking.
Woody, they didn't have technologies back in the 80s. They only had like chalkboards and stuff like that.
Well, my friend, that is true, but they had some type of technology in the 80s. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Teletext? Huh? Now, I know some adults that grew up with this is foaming at the mouth right now, talking about some, you see, Sonny boy, that's what we had to use back in the day. Dude, I'm two. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Woody, what is a teletext?
And what does it do? I'm so glad you asked. Okay, so teletext was a technology that allows symbols to be viewed on television monitors. Teletext became a popular way to access information on TV, including stuff like the news, sports, and travel, and things of that nature. Now that we got that out the way, let's talk about students' performances, specifically the SAT. All right, so what is the SAT? Well, according to Google, as I was researching, the SAT is a standardized test meant to show schools how prepared you are for college. And for some schools, a lot of test scores were like really low. Lower than Michael Jackson doing a lean. But in all seriousness, this was terrible. It was so terrible that students in America scored lower than people in Japan and Germany and everywhere else in the world. Let's move on. Another thing that caught my eye while I was researching was the drugs and violence. We gonna get to the violence first. I'm not even kidding. Some bullies and random dudes will bring knives and just shank you out of nowhere. Like this. Hey, bro, you got my lunch money?
Nah, I got something else for you.
Hey, man, put it down. Okay, maybe not like that, but yeah. All right, let's get out of here before I get shanked. And as for the drugs, all I'm gonna say is that they really loved that Mary Jane. And I'm not talking about the Rick James song. Mary Jane. Also in the 1980s, a lot of schools were teacher-centered. So, think about it like this. You walk into class with like 30 other people. Jesus Christ. You go sit down. The teacher comes in and says, "Good morning, class. Today, we are going to learn about Benjamin Franklin. Now, would you please open your history books to page 147 and take notes?" Like, I'm telling you, man, teachers would just sit there talking while you had to just take notes and right away. Glad I ain't living those times.
Hey, this starting to sound like that one movie with Morgan Freeman.
Dude, what are you talking about?
You know, that one movie with Morgan Freeman?
Oh, that movie.
Roll the clip.
We want to welcome Mr. Clark to Eastside. We've heard so much about you and tell you what we have done in anticipation of your arrival. Ms. Levias, your other vice principal, and I have appointed an executive committee to oversee certain areas where we have noted a need for improvement. Mr. Zarella, for example...
You may sit down, Mr. O'Malley. You think you can run this school? If you could, then I wouldn't be here, would I? No one talks in my meetings. No one! You take out your pencils and write. I want the names of every hoodlum, drug dealer, and miscreant who's done nothing but take this place apart on my desk by noon today. Reverend Slappy.
Yes, sir.
You are now the chief custodian, Reverend Slappy. You will scour this building clean. Graffiti goes up, it's off the next day. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, the very next day.
Detention students can help you. Let them scrub this place for a while. And tear down those cages in the cafeteria. You treat them like animals, that's exactly how they'll behave. This is my new dean of security, Mr. William Wright. He will be my avenging angel as you teachers reclaim the halls. This is an institution of learning, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't control it, how can you teach? Discipline is not the enemy of enthusiasm. Mr. Zarella.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zarella, you are now my new head football coach. Mr. Darnell. Stand up, Mr. Darnell. Mr. Darnell will be your assistant. You know why you're being demoted, Mr. Darnell? Because I'm sick and tired of our football team getting pushed all over the field. Thank you, sit down. I want precision. I want a weight program. And if you don't like it, Mr. Darnell, you can quit. The same goes for the rest of you. You've tried it your way for years, and your students can't even get past a minimum basic skills test. That means they can hardly read. They've given me less than 1 year, 1 school year to turn this place around, to get those test scores up, so the state will not take us over to perform the task which you have failed to do, to educate our children.